Colorado has seen its fair share of spring snowstorms. Here's a little trip down memory lane to 2022, when wet snow piled up south of Denver and in the foothills. And tonight, a significant system is headed our way. Unlike so much of this season, it won't just be the mountains this time. The Denver metro area could be in for several inches of wet, sloppy, heavy snow.
You laid it out pretty clearly. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
I'm Kyle Clark. So dry winter may lull people into a false sense of security, right? We're not getting moisture. It's just over for us this year. Well, grab the jacket and brace because it's coming tomorrow. Let's bring in Kathy Saban now with a look at the forecast. Kathy?
We've got some moderate rain falling in Denver, the first of two cool fronts already sliding in. In the mountains, we've been tracking snow all afternoon and evening, and visibility is coming down. We're going to be measuring the snow in feet in the Colorado high country, and we're issuing a weather impact alert due to the potential for wet, heavy snow down power lines and tree limbs. And then when the storm moves out, temperatures in the 20s could lead to a hard freeze. Denver looks like 4 to 8 inches, 4 on the low side, 8 on the high, but you go north and west of town and we're looking at 1 to 2 feet of snow. We have winter weather and travel advisories posted, and now temperatures are starting to tumble. We were in the 70s and 80s today. We're down to 50 in Denver, and we won't even see that number for a high temperature tomorrow. Snow filling in on the I-70 corridor, moderate showers coming off the foothills into Broomfield, Erie, Lafayette, down to Parker and Denver, down to Highlands Ranch and Castle Rock. This rain will go for several hours and pick up again tomorrow. We won't see the rain flip to snow in Denver until about noon, 1 o'clock. It's going to go most of the day with not a huge impact initially due to a lot of melting, but the second cold front tomorrow night brings in the heavier snow, and that will have a big impact on Wednesday morning. There'll be school delays, cancellations, and tough mountain driving. Mild temperatures with rain showers over the next 6 to 12 hours. Coming up, another check of the radar, how much snow you could see at your house, and then details on what could be a hard freeze for us on Thursday morning.
How about a snow day tomorrow? For 3 schools in the Boulder School District, it's going to happen. There are 3 mountain schools. Students at Livermore, Red Feather Lakes, and Stove Prairie Elementary get a snow day tomorrow. All other schools in the Boulder School District will go as normal.
Oh, this spring storm could do a real number on our trees, though.
Yeah, we're expecting the kind of wet, heavy snow that could bring down limbs and branches. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch is along now after talking with folks in the tree business who have been preparing. Janelle?
Kim, Kyle, Limb Walkers Tree Service in Wheat Ridge got about 10 to 15 client calls today. The co-owner says that a lot of homeowners are pretty nervous because we just keep talking about this crazy winter weather that is headed our way. He says that based on the limbs that he saw today hovering over power lines and houses, he knows that his crews will be in for a lot of work tomorrow.
Colorado needs water, but could too much of a good thing be a bad thing?
We'll see.
Mark Starcevic owns Limb Walkers Tree Service in Wheat Ridge. He spent the day looking up at what has the potential to come down.
We didn't have a real winter, so everything kind of grew out a lot faster than normal. So what we're seeing is when we get those leaves on there, they just potentially what they do is just create this like huge mitt for snow.
Starcevic says this season's early bloom and late snow may lead to homeowner headaches.
But there is some trees in the backyard that we looked at that, potentially could be breaking and landing on power lines, pole to house type of situation.
He says freezing temps don't help either.
So that's going to play a big part in those branches breaking because we're going to get, stuff's going to be frozen and then we're going to get that weight on those limbs.
Starcevic is staffing a dozen workers for the storm. He says they'll start as early as 5 a.m. and work all day.
Large limbs break, land on houses. We'll go get those, get them off, and then we'll wait till the snow stops and go back and get everything cleaned up.
Starcevic says he's looking forward to winter work he's missed out on. But with snow coming at such an extreme, a good thing could be bad.
We're ready.
Starcevic has been in the industry for more than 20 years. He's definitely an expert in this field. He says that if you do see snow accumulating on branches on really big trees, just leave them alone. They present really dangerous situations if you do go out there and try to knock it off yourself. He says that if that does happen to you at your home, just call the experts. Live in Denver, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
This concrete snow we're anticipating could also lead to power outages, obviously. Xcel Energy says it'll have 165 extra staff on standby across the state to restore service. Core Electric, which serves Conifer, Pine, and Bailey, will also have people ready to go. They say the immediate concern will be tree branches near power lines.
A lot of the trees are already leafed out, so there's just a lot more kind of surface area for the snow to drag onto, pull that weight down and break off branches.
After the storm passes, sun will come out. There will be another risk for power outages. When the snow melts and it falls off of lines, it can cause them to slap and create faults.
CDOT crews really haven't had to do much snow plowing in the Denver metro area over the past several months, and that could change this week. The agency says they'll have 100 plows coming out for the upcoming storm. They won't be pre-treating the roads here because they say that would just be a waste of resources.
The pavement is very warm, and 2, it will rain and be wet before it will snow. And when we get rain, what that will do is just wash off any pre-treatment that we have on the roads. And it also does, the pre-treatment doesn't work all that well on warm temperature, on warm pavement.
CDOT says they'll have another 30 plows out on I-70 from Golden to the Eisenhower Tunnel. Officials in Clear Creek County warn Guanella Pass, which opened early for the season a couple of weeks ago, will not be plowed. It will stay open. They're going to have signage warning drivers like, think about it.
Yeah, some fool takes that as a challenge. Well, you can be on the news, friend.
Don't be with that guy or gal. A hard freeze last month was tough on farmers and their fruit crops.
When we talked with folks who run a farm in Longmont, they told our Spencer Soysher they're really looking forward to this storm.
At Yaya's farm, the owner knows if it's May in Colorado, snow is still possible. Most years, they dread the Mother's Day storm. But this one this year, no sweat.
It is so hard to raise fruit in this part of the country because, well, you know the weather.
There aren't many orchards just outside the Denver metro area.
But there's good reason for that, and this storm is a perfect example of one of them.
Sharon Perdue at Yaya's farm in Longmont says the big temperature swings and strong storms are usually a concern.
So if this was a normal year and the blooms were full on right now, I would not sleep tonight. I'd be very upset. And we'd probably lose our crop the next couple days.
But lucky for Sharon, the warm weather made her fruit trees bloom.
Then we've had like blooms that were 3 weeks early.
And as long as the temperatures don't dip too far, she thinks the moisture from the snow may actually be a good thing.
The good part is when you have snow with the cold temperatures, the snow insulates the bloom, and so it can keep it from freezing. I've ran the irrigation since December. I haven't stopped running irrigation.
And when the snow comes, her priority will become the branches.
Yep, just get that snow off, that heavy weight, and should be good.
Her orchard is ahead of schedule, and she thinks all's gonna be okay.
As long as it doesn't snow in June.
Spencer Soysher, 9 News.
You can stay up to date on the incoming storm on our 9 News app, and you can stream us anytime by scanning the QR code on your screen.
The man accused of killing one woman and injuring about a dozen others in an anti-Semitic firebombing attack in Boulder is expected to plead guilty later this week. Mohammed Suleiman was arrested in June of last year after investigators say he attacked a group of people peacefully raising awareness of Israeli hostages held in Gaza. Court documents show he will plead guilty to all charges in state court on Thursday. If that does end up happening, he'll face a sentence of life in prison with no possibility of parole. As for the federal hate crimes he's charged with, he's agreed to plead guilty and serve a life sentence, but so far, federal prosecutors have not signaled whether they will agree to that.
The city of Denver and the state of Colorado are refusing the Trump administration's demands to repeal certain gun laws. The Department of Justice sent letters late last month threatening federal lawsuits if the city and state don't abandon gun restrictions. The letter targeting Colorado demands that the state immediately stop enforcing a law that bans the sale, transfer, or possession of large-capacity magazines. The letter to Denver targets the city's ordinance prohibiting the possession of assault-style weapons. That's been on the books since 1989.
When our president attacks policies like Denver's assault weapons ban, he isn't just challenging a law, he's challenging our right to decide what keeps our neighborhoods safe.
The DOJ claims the laws violate the Second Amendment. Reps for the city and state said that they are prepared to legally defend the gun restrictions.
Denver police say a man fired a shot toward officers before one of those officers returned fire, killing him. This happened at an apartment complex in South Denver last month. 37-year-old Jordan Miller was killed in the April 25th shooting on South Quebec near East Quincy. Police say they were responding to a man who had called 911 and reported another man got into his car and pointed a gun at him. The 911 caller got out and ran away. Officers say they later found Miller and told him to keep his hands up. They say he fired a shot in their direction, and an officer fired 6 shots, hitting Miller, who later died at the hospital. In a statement today, Miller's sister said Miller was a beloved son, brother, cousin, and friend. She wrote, quote, "We are heartbroken that his struggle with addiction ended in this tragedy. We are deeply grateful that no law enforcement officers or others were harmed."
Thornton police say an officer of theirs who ran more than 10,000 flock surveillance searches in 2 years did not violate department policy. The internal audit stemmed from a complaint filed by a left-leaning citizen group. It claimed the officer ran 19,000 searches in that tracking database. In an update today, Thornton PD said the actual total was about half that, 10,000 searches. And police said there was no evidence to support any allegation of misuse. At the time the officer conducted those searches, Thornton police did not require officers to put in a case number or other identification as justification. That changed with community pushback. The department has also added more frequent internal audits of its flock searches.
A bill designed to protect kid influencers will become law. Democratic Governor Jared Polis just signed it. The Democrat-led legislation will require parents to set aside earnings for a child if the creator makes at least $40,000 a year on content, and the child appears to be in 30% or more of the monetized content within a 30-day period. The child will also get access to those earnings when they turn 18. The law is set to take effect in June of next year. 2 bills designed to ease Colorado's overcrowded prison system are headed to Governor Polis's desk. Prisons in the state were nearly full in January, with roughly 18,000 inmates and just a 3% vacancy rate. The 2 bills target different ends of the problem. The first allows the State Board of Parole, not just the governor, to grant early parole to young offenders, though they would have to complete a specialized rehabilitation program. The second recalculates earned time. Those are sentence reductions inmates can accumulate. The change could mean some inmates are released earlier.
To be honest, these people are going to get out anyways, eventually. So why not make sure that we're investing in them participating in the programs that we know will lead them to not recidivate.
State Representative Javier Mabre, who you just heard from, is a Democrat who co-sponsored the bills. He warns the measures are only a partial fix. Both passed the legislature are now headed to Governor Polis for his signature.